Welcome to the Premi Power Week. I'm Fabiana Bacchini, Executive Director of the Canadian Premature Babies Foundation, CPBF, and your host for this event. The Premi Power Week is the second of two international live series that CPBF is hosting 2020 in recognition of World Prematurity Day. And today is World Prematurity Day, and we are celebrating this day around the world. These education sessions are in collaboration with the International Family Integrated Care Committee, the Canadian Association of Neonatal Nurses, EFCNI, and GLANS, the Global Alliance for the Newborn Care. For those not familiar with CPBF, we are a charitable organization, and our mission is to support and educate Canadian families of premature babies every step of the way. We believe that through consistent information, access to helpful resources, and peer support inside and outside an NICU, we can empower families, ensuring they are ready to care for their baby. Consistent information is especially important today when we are facing a global pandemic. With educational sessions like this, we intend to bring you the guidance of healthcare professionals and the knowledge gathered by researchers around the world. These are valuable tools to help our community raise awareness and advocate for the well-being of families and their babies. I would like to thank AbbVie for the unrestricted educational grant and Pampers for supporting the Premi Power Week. Today, I'm going to share a little bit of my personal story and how I found peer support, education, and collaboration, the key elements for me to survive the NICU. And in honor of this special day, I will share with you what the Canadian Premature Babies Foundation is doing to ensure that we are creating a brighter future for premature babies and their families. I will share some of my slides with you. You give me one moment to put on a full slide mode. Here we go. So my story started 8 years ago when I was pregnant with twins, and halfway through my pregnancy, we found out that one of our twins had a heart condition and he had almost zero chance to make to birth. At 25 weeks, I went into preterm labor, and 26 weeks, I delivered my twins at Mount Sinai Hospital in Toronto. Michael was stillborn, and Gabriel was rushed into the NICU, which became our home for 146 days. This is the first time I saw Gabriel wrapped in a plastic bag. It was a 2-pound baby, and all these wires and tubes around his face. I was very, very scared. I was very fortunate to be introduced to the Family Integrated Care research study that Sinai was doing at the time. And we talked a lot about FICare yesterday with Dr. Carol Bryan and Dr. Linda Frank about what is happening with FICare and how to implement FICare in units around the world. I was lucky to be part of this study where I was welcome to be part of the team. I was able to do more skin-to-skin care with my son. I was actually part of his care. I could change his diaper, take his temperature, and as he got more stable, I could give him a bath. I was always present at rounds, and in the beginning it was very intimidating to be surrounded by a multidisciplinary team that I did not understand what they were saying, but I was there as an observer. As the weeks passed by and I became more empowered and more knowledgeable about his conditions, I was actually able to present at rounds. I had my own charts, and every day, Monday to Friday, I had education sessions talking about different aspects of prematurity, what to expect with preemie babies, and how can we support their development at home, but also how could we take care of our own mental health as parents in the NICU. We had this amazing peer support system at Sinai with veteran parents coming into the units to support us by the bedside. So that experience was very transformative for me as I started seeing the NICU on a very different perspective. It totally changed my perception of the NICU. It took me from a place of fear of the unknown, fear of what was coming after for Gabriel when he got discharged home, and fear of losing him. Being part of his care, I learned how to stay present in the NICU, and I felt this unconditional love for my child, and I learned how to celebrate him every single day without thinking about what could happen the next day. I was really able to be a parent in the NICU at that time. As I mentioned before, we were able to do a lot more kangaroo care, which was so important for my husband and I to create that bond with the baby. You can see my husband holding Gabriel just a few hours after he was born, when he was only 2 pounds. And I'm holding Gabriel on the picture on the left, on the right-hand side, on ventilator, which was extremely challenging. And I acknowledge how healthcare professionals sometimes do not have time to have 3 people around you supporting or holding kangaroo care on ventilator. But those are the moments that are unforgettable for me, and to create a bond with my son. And obviously now we all know the benefits of kangaroo care. But the time for me was just I need to feel my son. Today, I know through research the importance of kangaroo care for all babies born preterm. And support was all around me, which really helped in my journey. I had incredible lactation support during my pumping sessions, how hard it is for moms to pump. And I was one of the fortunate ones that I had a lot of milk. This is my freezer at home. But it wasn't without the support. I couldn't have done alone. So the support from day one, when I just delivered Gabriel from a C-section, and a nurse came and said, you got to start pumping now. And I know how hard that is. And I acknowledge all the moms and the parents who are there trying their best to provide breast milk for their babies. And this is my primary nurse holding Gabriel. She really, both of my nurses, our primary nurses and all the nurses at the team at Sinai, really showed me how to be a mom in that scary environment, and translated the NICU to me in mom's terms rather than medical terms. So I could actually start to get involved and engage on Gabriel's care. So finally, 5 months later, we were going to be discharged, and this was our discharge day. It was a bittersweet day for me, for sure. And I was preparing to bring Gabriel home, and just a couple of weeks before, we were told that we were going to bring Gabriel home on oxygen. And I cried because I did not want to bring the hospital home. I want to be a family at home the way I had dreamed before. And I remember saying to a doctor, and saying, I want my life to go back to normal. And she, with a lot of kindness and compassion, said to me, this will be your new normal, and you're ready for this. I had spent over 1,100 hours by his bedside. So she reassured me that I was prepared to care for Gabriel at home. I had done over 400 hours of skin to skin, and I was in over 100 medical rounds. And I did not understand the importance of being around during that time, but I learned the value of being around, engaged around after discharge. When I took my baby home, and I started seeing this team of specialists that did not know anything about Gabriel. So I had to talk about Gabriel, his condition, what he has gone through in the NICU. And that was extremely empowering for me. I really found my voice. I really felt that I could advocate for my son. And I will share this story with you because I think this story really summarizes what education and empowerment for parents mean when we are in the community. 2 months after Gabriel got discharged from Mount Sinai, we were home, and I noticed that Gabriel was not doing well. He wasn't breathing properly. I took him to our pediatrician who works in a community hospital, and he said to me, we have to admit Gabriel. He has pneumonia. So Gabriel was admitted there for a couple of weeks, and he wasn't getting better. On December 24th in the morning, I was breastfeeding Gabriel, and Gabriel started turning blue. And I remember, I screamed, nobody came. And I remember Marianne Bratt, who was the parent resource center at Sinai at the time, said on her CPR class, she said to us, when you don't know what to do, you start CPR. And that's exactly what I did. And that's what saved my son's life that day. And I'm so grateful that I was able to do that. But I also had to spend 9 hours advocating with my husband to get Gabriel transferred to Sick Kids. And that is the picture at Sick Kids, almost midnight on Christmas Eve. Gabriel was in the pediatric intensive care unit at Sick Kids. And as hard as that day was for us, I had my heart absolutely filled with gratitude. Gratitude for everybody who taught me all the lessons in the NICU, where I learned how to advocate for Gabriel, and I learned the skill to do CPR on my son so I could save his life. And I always thought, how can I ever give back to this community of people who care so much for families and babies? So I spent pretty much 1 year reflecting on this NICU journey and what it meant for us as a family, for me as a mother, and for my children. And when I look back into my NICU memories, I realized that there was more joyful memories than not. And for all the parents out there, I'm sure you know this movie Inside Out, and this is Joy looking into her memory box. And that was an NICU for me. I have more yellow memories, the joyful memories, than the other ones. And I really decided that I need to give back to this community by becoming a volunteer. So I volunteered at Mount Sinai for 6 years in the NICU. I got engaged in a lot of different committees. I was a parent advisor and a parent buddy, and I started getting involved in research. That experience led me to the Canadian Premature Babies Foundation, where I am today for the last 2 years. And the foundation was created by Katerina Staub, who is a mom of preemie twins from Edmonton. And after Katerina left, Kate Robson took the leadership of the foundation. And Kate Robson is also a mom of preemies, and she works in the NICU at Sunnybrook Hospital. So the foundation is being around since 2012 and is doing incredible work across the country that we share with you, and how all that comes together. So our mission at the foundation is to support and educate Canadian families every step of the way, before, during, and after the NICU stays, because we know the journey starts before we land in the NICU for a lot of people who have high-risk pregnancies. And we want mothers who have healthy pregnancies and have enough information during their pregnancy. Our vision is to have a brighter future for all premature babies and those who care for them. So we do that through education, and we develop a lot of educational materials for families in collaboration with healthcare professionals in Canada. So everything that we produce is evidence-based. This is very important for us to disseminate information that is relevant, is reliable, and credible for our families. So we have webinars, we have a podcast series with you in the NICU, which is a podcast series for parents who are pumping, and is your companion during 15 minutes of a pumping session, because we know how hard it is to pump. Every Friday since the beginning of the pandemic, I've been hosting Facebook Live, which became our virtual education session, because we know the hospitals right now cannot have in-person groups for education or peer support. So we are here to bring the experts and make them available and accessible for families to ask questions, but also for healthcare professionals who wants to learn about the latest research, the latest standard of care, and what is happening in Canada, and they can support the NICU and the NICU families. Our website has a lot of information, a lot of education for families on common inter-illnesses, RSV, early pumping, breastfeeding. And today we're actually launching our very new video series for families who are first come to the NICU with a brand new baby. We know how those first days and first couple of weeks are terrifying for families. And we created these videos that are very, very simple, very short, for families to understand what is happening and how to become familiar with alarms and beeps and the terminology that they use in the NICU. The videos go hand in hand with our Welcome to the NICU booklet that we have created in 10 languages. So you can check the videos on our website, and please do share with the families in your hospitals. So support for us is extremely important because we know how much families feel alone in the NICU, and especially this time during the pandemic, where the support system seems to have disappeared. No, we don't have any visitors coming to the NICU, so parents are alone in the NICU with their babies. They cannot have extended families or grandparents or the other siblings. So we are here to support families in the best way that we can. We have a very large group on Facebook that is monitored by veteran parents who have been trained to do this work. Families share resources, share their milestones, their celebrations, and it's a great place to go so families know that they are not alone. And every Wednesday, Kate Robson is hosting a real-time support group also here on Facebook. It is a private group, a small group for families who are in the NICU or any family who have been discharged that could benefit from that group. With COVID this year, we understand the extra stress families are going through. We created the COVID Care program. So we are offering families 2 sessions of therapy with psychologists or therapists from across Canada to give 2 online sessions for families for free. Any family can apply if they are in the NICU or up to a year post-discharge. And also, we decided to bring a little bit of joy to families this year in the NICU. We know the news always seems to be bad news these days. Our milestones cards is to help families to celebrate the steps that the babies take in the NICU and also acknowledge the parents' engagement in the NICU. We are piloting the milestone cards in 10 units at the moment. We are expanding the program next year, but all the cards are available on our website, and anyone can just print. They are in PDF format. And earlier this year, we partnered with Pampers to provide $200,000 in technology grants. 8 hospitals across Canada were awarded with the technology grant to implement technology in the units to keep families and babies together. We know sometimes parents are sick, they cannot come into the unit, or one parent is working, cannot be there for rounds, or extended families. So we are hoping this technology will really enhance the connectivity between families and babies. And for 2021, we are creating a graduation care package that we're going to be sending to hospitals across the country. That's also in collaboration with Pampers, and we are sending this beautiful graduation certificate for families to celebrate the journey that they've been through. Also, for us, it's very important to partner with research. We truly believe in collaboration, and we bring the parents' voice to the table. This is very important for us to work with researchers to help them understand our journey from our perspective as parents. And I'm so grateful that in Canada, we are moving forward with research really quickly, engaging families in many aspects of research. I think that is how the future will be for many other countries to include parents in research to see what is very meaningful for us and what outcomes are important for us. In advocacy, this is how Katerina established the foundation to be the voice of premature babies in the community. And this is what we keep doing. This year, we launched the position statement together with the Family Integrated Care to keep parents and babies together in the NICU during the pandemic and beyond. The position statement, as Dr. Carol Bryan mentioned yesterday, is available on the website, and you can really use to advocate to keep parents and babies together in a very safe way for the families and the staff at the hospitals as well. And earlier this year, we also joined forces with a global campaign called Zero Separation that we are going to talk about it with Silk Mother right after I finish my talk today. We're going to talk about what's happening around the world in the NICUs around the world, and how this campaign is very important for families and to keep them together, because we know the long-term consequence of not having babies and parents together in the NICU. And tonight is we are joining the Illumination campaign, which is also a global movement around the world to have monuments lit up in purple. In Canada, we have 28 monuments confirmed to be lit tonight, and the whole list is also on our website. We have collaborations across the country that are very important for us to continue to always bring the parents' voice to the table. And we also collaborate with an international organizations with FCNI and GLANS for campaigns and different initiatives. So World Prematurity Day, why do we need to talk about prematurity, and why this day is so important for us? 1 million babies are still, we lose 1 million babies a year due to prematurity. This is a very high number worldwide. And in Canada, we have 30,000 babies born prematurely every year, 1 in 12 babies. And we all know through research that any baby born preterm can have long-term consequences. So we have to keep talking about prematurity, raise awareness, work in collaboration with all stakeholders to change the face of prematurity in the future for our babies. We have to work with the spirits of care. There's so much all around us. Sometimes I see how the disparities of care in other countries, but right here in Canada, we also have it, and we're going to talk about that on Friday. So keep an eye on our agenda for Friday, because this is a problem in Canada as well. So you have to keep raising awareness on prematurity. This day was created 12 years ago by EFCNI and other parent organizations, because they saw the importance of having a voice, a common voice to advocate for our babies and families. And this year, we came together to celebrate our premature babies, the families, and everyone who cared for them. We truly believe in the preemie power. We know the NICU is a tough experience. It changed us all. No matter if you spend 2 days in the NICU or if you spend 6 months in the NICU, parents who experience an NICU are never the same. But it doesn't mean that has to be all negative. This experience teaches so much. And sometimes when you try to look and reflect on that journey, we find this power that we did not know existed. We found our babies to be resilient. We found our voices as advocates. We understand how strong and brave we are to see our baby going through procedures, fighting for life, and we are there with them. So I want to acknowledge how hard it is in NICU. I've been there, I experienced there, but also what comes out of the NICU. I always see this beautiful community of parents coming together, this invisible bond that we have, that we share, and this work that healthcare professionals do and really care for families. I am so grateful that we have an incredible community in Canada and many other countries who are coming together to really change prematurity and create a better and a brighter future for all our babies and families. So this week we are hosting Preemie Power Week because it's very, very important for CPBF to continue to educate families and healthcare professionals. This is the way we feel we can empower people. This is the way we feel that we can create more parent advocates and how parents can learn more about their baby's situation and how they can advocate for their babies. This week, we still have a huge lineup of speakers from all over the world, bringing topics that are very, very important to this community. And we share a lot on our social media, every initiative that we have and new campaigns. Please follow us on our social media channels for you to learn the latest of what you do and how you can support families also in your unit.